The best part of retirement wasn't what I expected. Now, this video was going to be more upbeat. Still going to talk about some reality, but I want it to be upbeat. When I thought about retirement, I pictured having all the time in the world. Years of watching other people retire, magazine ads, commercials. They all kind of painted the same picture. You know what I'm talking about. Completely free schedule. Do what you want. Time to finally catch up on the projects around the house. Lord knows my wife wanted that. Time to do some RVing. I've got an RV sitting outside. Time to take fishing back up. I used to fish all the time. Maybe things were right. Maybe even getting a new house somewhere sometime. What I got instead was something better, but it took me a while to recognize it. For the first time in 50 years, my time belonged to me. It wasn't unlimited, and it wasn't even as much free time as I pictured, if I'm honest. But it was mine. It was mine to schedule, mine to spend, mine to say no with finally after a lifetime of saying yes because a boss decided when the time would be mine and how I'd be able to spend it. I write on my own schedule now. Nobody tells me how I have to do it, when I have to do it, now and not later. I can even write on vacation if I want to. I've written from the beach more than once, just not on the beach. Sand and laptops don't get along very well. I sleep in whenever I want. That's frequently. And every once in a while can talk my wife into sleeping in with me. She wants to get up early, so it's hard to do. I can wake up and take her to breakfast on a whim. I love doing that. We can take a 3-day trip whenever we feel like it, with nobody to ask permission from but us. We don't worry about how late we stay up because there ain't no alarm clock waiting for us in the morning, except on Sunday when we have to be at church. And even then, if we can miss it, we can still watch it on a live stream and go wherever we had planned. And that's the part nobody told me about. Not freedom in an abstract sense, but freedom in a very specific sense of no one else having a say in my calendar. And I think most of my adult life, I organize myself around somebody else's schedule. I know you do too. I hope that's why you're watching, to find out how you can adjust your life. And I never really noticed that I was doing it, at least not often, because you don't question it when you're younger. The alarm clock goes off because it has to. Vacations have to be approved. Lord, that was a pain. Doctor appointments get worked around instead of the other way around. You can't go to the doctor because your boss won't give you that time off. It all just seems normal because that's the way life works. Whether it was a boss, a customer, a deadline, somebody else always had a big say in my calendar. Even when I owned my own construction company, I still live by other people's timelines. You always have a boss when you have to show up for work. And I didn't realize how much of my life had been organized around somebody else's priorities until, for the first time in 50 years, my schedule finally became my own. And that ownership shows up everywhere now. It shows up in my stress level, especially because I'm no longer trying to satisfy a boss that I really never understood completely. It shows up in my marriage because I have the time and the freedom to be present. I can't tell you how important that is, especially for you men, to be present in your marriage instead of coming home just absolutely wasted because of the long, hard day you had. It shows up with my grandkids because I can be the granddad who shows up to a school program or a Tuesday afternoon birthday party instead of the one who has to apologize for missing it. It even shows up in why I work now. And I still work, freelance writing mostly. Every now and then, if it's something I can do, I may take a handyman job on. And people are sometimes surprised by that. But there's a real difference between work I'm required to do and work I choose to do on my own time. You know what I'm talking about? One drains you, the other doesn't. More than 4 years into this retirement now, here's kind of where I've landed. It's been good, guys. Really good. Not because of the RV trips or the fishing, though I do enjoy those. It's because owning my own time let me finally put it where it actually mattered, with my wife, my children, my grandchildren, my friends, my church family. We're all getting older. None of us are here forever. And time with them is worth more than anything, any money sitting in a bank account. If I could climb into a time machine and sit down with myself at 50, I know what I'd tell my 50-year-old self. As far as the financial end, I would tell him, pay off as much debt as you can. But then I'd say, find a few hobbies that you can enjoy for the rest of your life, hobbies you really like. But mostly, I tell him to relish the time with your wife and your adult children. Take your wife on more trips. Be the happy granddad at the birthday parties. Life is something to enjoy. It's not something to stress over. God has been good. Looking back, retirement didn't give me unlimited free time. It gave me something much better. It gave me ownership of my time. And after 50 years of living by somebody else's schedule, I didn't realize how valuable that would be. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you enjoyed this video and what I'm trying to build on this channel, please like and subscribe to it. That would really help me out a lot. And put in the comments anything you want to talk about related to this. If you're already retired, how have you found ownership of your time to be? And until the next time, God bless.